We've got Beth in McCalla now. Hey, Beth, how are you?
I'm good. All right, I have a question. My mother took my daughter about 3 years ago to a local shopping center, and they were going to go into a restaurant to eat. Right outside the restaurant, they always have like benches for people to sit, I guess, when you're waiting before you go in. My mother didn't know it. She stepped out of the car, stepped up on the sidewalk, and when she hit the ground, she looked back and realized that there was a bolt sticking up out of the ground, probably about 2 inches high. And my mother kind of rolled over it. She was bleeding. My daughter quickly, who had a phone, teenager, took a picture of the bolt, sent it to me, said, Mom just fell. And so they went on in the restaurant. She cleaned herself up. The girls there that were waiting on her asked her, what happened to her, because she was obviously bleeding. And she explained to them that she had just fallen outside of the restaurant. And when they got through eating, they went back outside. The bolt had been sawed off. Someone had come while they were there in the restaurant and sawed it off. A few days later, of course, my mother's bruised, banged up. She goes to the hospital. She had torn up her knee. She ended up having to have surgery. She had to go through therapy. And we encouraged her to contact a lawyer. Well, that's been for about 3 years ago now, and she's been given really a complete runaround. They told her that they contacted the restaurant. The restaurant said it wasn't their responsibility. It was the actual shopping center's responsibility. Then the lawyers told her that they contacted the shopping center. They said it was the restaurant's responsibility. So now, here it is like 3 years later, and she's had no resolution, and it's gone back and forth between both of these facilities, and it's taken forever. And I'm curious to know is whose responsibility should it be, and how long of a time frame should she be looking at that's reasonable? Because I feel like I don't know if these lawyers are actually really putting it forward and doing what they need to be doing to get this handled for her, or are they really?
All right, let's weigh in and see. A lot going on here. So who wants to take it?
Well, to answer your original question, she would have a claim against both, potentially have a claim against both the restaurant and the owner of the parking lot. The problem that I see here is, let me ask you, do you know if the lawsuit's been filed?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, first I'm going to say, whomever the lawyer that you have just working on your mom's case is the best lawyer to handle that case because they know all the facts and they know what's going on. 3 years from the date of the injury for a case not to be resolved is not abnormal. Personal injuries cases last a long time. Unfortunately, the wheels of justice sometimes don't move as fast as we would like them to move. So it sounds to me like that everything's on track and under control. It's just maybe, sometimes we just have to be patient in these situations.
Yeah, and it's probably one or the other. This is probably controlled by contract, who's responsible for what. And my guess is that your lawyers are, at some point, something's got to give. There'll be a trial date. Somebody will file a motion for summary judgment to say we're not responsible. And then the lawyers are going to take whatever testimony, whatever evidence they've gathered during this litigation process, and they're going to either beat them or they're going to lose. And somebody's going to be left to have to foot the bill because that's something that shouldn't happen. You see it all the time. And I think they did the right thing. Whoever went out there and took the bolt up immediately, they should have taken some pictures of it before they did it, but glad you did. But they did the right thing by taking this remedial measure to make the area at least safer. So I'd stick with your lawyer. If you have a question,